comment, and click the subscribe button. Enjoy the show, and here we go. The beautiful model Maria Whitaker 1980s. English actress Linda Lusardi 1978. San Francisco circa 1920. Maxwell sedan at Presidio Terrace. January 1911. Pittston, Pennsylvania. For Breaker Boys working in No. 9 Breaker, Hughstown Borough, Pennsylvania Coal Company. January 3, 1924. New York. Underscore 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 listening to records. September 1942. Park County, Montana. Oat harvest. July 10, 1912. Carmen's automobile, overland touring car, taken at barn raising. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. Herbert E. French, photographer in office. Washington, D.C., circa 1910. Riggs House, formerly 15th and GSDSNW. July 1918. American Red Cross Canteen at Gare d'Ivry, Paris, showing decorations in honor of the 4th of July, which was celebrated by the French as well as by the Americans. June 1941. Interior of Negro Rural House, Greene County, Georgia. August 1940. Women in Upper Mauch Chunk, Pennsylvania. The corner of Grant and Bush in San Francisco in 1966. I took this Kodachrome to show Bygone's, my favorite place for hamburgers while I was in the Navy, stationed on Treasure Island. November 1936. Daughter of migrant Tennessee coal miner, living in American River Camp near Sacramento, California. Palm Beach, Florida, circa 1904. Casino, the breakers, and cottages along the beach. One of Henry Flagler's giant wood frame hotels. The breakers burned in 1903 and reopened the following year. Waseca, Minnesota, circa 1899. Chautauqua Grounds cottages at Maplewood. San Francisco, 1921. Maxwell Model 25 Touring Sedan. Honey, whose horse was that blocking the garage? August 1968. My mom in San Francisco's Chinatown at Grant and California streets. Kodachrome slide by my dad. February 1936. Lilac Street, Mission District, San Francisco. Rent $15 a month for 3 rooms. August 1942. Shepherd with his horse and dog on Gravelly Range, Madison County, Montana. New Orleans circa 1900. St. Charles Hotel, St. Charles Street. Welcome NEA members. San Luis Potosí, Mexico, circa 1897. Church of Carmen, rear view. February 1936. Card Alley. North Beach District, Italians. San Francisco, California. San Francisco, 1928. Essex Super 6 sedan at golf course. caterpillar and butterflies on parade circa 1955 courtesy of the Fabric Tractor Company. In this Kodachrome slide found at a local flea market. Independence Day, 1906. F.A. Loomis, copyright claimant. Little boy holding 3 large firecrackers and flag. Charming girl from the 1960s. October 1942. Colorado School of Mines at Golden. Chemical prospecting for oil becomes more important as the war goes on and the demand for oil increases. August 1940. Women in Upper Mauch Chunk, Pennsylvania. January 20th, 1919. Recreation barracks at the American Red Cross Agricultural Training School for French Mutils, Le Liege. September 11th, 1900. New York Life Building, Chicago. The building, at LaSalle and Monroe Streets. Frank Hume's Mammy, between February 1894 and February 1901. August 1942. Vernon County, Wisconsin. The E.J. Sogstad family at Arrowdale, their 160-acre farm near Westby. Robert, age 16, with hired man Alton Lee. June 1942. Tennessee Valley Authority construction cranes at Douglas Dam. December 1936. C.D. Grant and storehouse on his farm at Penderley Homesteads, North Carolina. February 1936. Mission District. Slums of San Francisco, California. November 1935. Backyard in Northwest Washington, D.C. Circa 1905 to 1915. Unidentified group, children, girls with dolls. September 1942. Richwood, West Virginia. Hazel Friend and her son Daryl in front of their home. The family is traveling to Batavia, New York, to work in the harvest. December 1942. Highway view along US 40 in Mount Vernon Canyon, Colorado. Looking east toward Green Mountain, with Shingle Creek below. Pittsfield, Massachusetts, circa 1906. North Street from the park. Circa 1900. Detroit photographic car crossing DLW Bridge over the Passaic at Millington, New Jersey. Circa 1900. A.W. McCurdy machine. The inventor Arthur Williams McCurdy, 1856 to 1923. San Francisco circa 1921. Romer Roadster. Utica, New York, circa 1905. Utica City National Bank, Genesee Street. Minneapolis, Minnesota, circa 1905. Hotel Nicolette, Nicolette, Washington Avenues. November 1942. Bingham Copper Mine, Utah. Car Fork Canyon as seen from the G Bridge. Syracuse, New York, circa 1900. West Genesee Street. Circa 1911. Main Street, Buffalo, New York. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. The stunning Donna Evan, 1989. American model Roberta Vasquez, 1982. The marvelous Samantha Fox, 1986. November 1938. Omaha, Nebraska. Cars parked diagonally along a row of parking meters. (1906). Mobile, Alabama Old Market House at Royal and Church. October 30th, 1939. German-American Bund Parade on East 86th Street. November 1938. Capitol Avenue storefronts, Omaha, Nebraska. San Francisco, 1927. Stutz Vertical 8 with safety chassis. Coal miner during May 1939 strike. Kempton, West Virginia. Summer 1938. General Store Interior. Florence County, South Carolina. February 1939. Sebastian, Texas. Migrant camp of workers who hope to get employment in the winter vegetable harvest. Washington, D.C., circa 1942. Conservation of fuel oil rock wool attic insulation. Washington, D.C., circa 1942. Food rationing stamps. Demonstration of point rationing plan in schools. Washington, D.C., circa 1928. Fussell Young Ice Cream Company trucks. October 1938. Playground in Green Hills, Ohio. (1938). Andrews Log House, Rutherford County, North Carolina. Norwell, tenant. Fairbury, Nebraska, 1953. Walter Gorham, my uncle, ran this restaurant in the Marietta Hotel. Boston, circa 1906. Board of Trade, Broad Street. Circa 1904. Summer Street in Boston, Massachusetts. Circa 1905. Cathedral of the Holy Cross, Boston, Massachusetts. March 1937. 6:45 a.m. One of 9 children, son of hired man Tip Estes, washing his face after doing his early morning chores. Near Fowler, Indiana. March 1937. Children of migratory carrot pullers, Mexicans. Imperial Valley, California. Boston circa 1900. Hotel Vendôme, Dartmouth Street and Commonwealth Avenue. November 1942. Utah Copper Bingham Mine. Brakeman of an ore train at the open pit mining operations of Utah Copper Company at Bingham Canyon, Utah. August 1937. Automobile convoys at Amity Hall, Pennsylvania. Truckers' facilities are, according to the drivers, model accommodations and of a kind not found elsewhere. New York, 1903. Cadet Armory, 9th Regiment Coast Artillery, West 14th Street. October 1938. North Platte, Nebraska. Manager of the Alamo Bar, and Mildred Irwin, entertainer. The Beautiful Karen Brennan, 1990s. November 1938. Houses along the railroad tracks, Omaha, Nebraska. June 1936. Griffin Children of Alabama Land Use Demonstration Project near Greensboro. November 1938. Lower Douglas Street, Omaha, is one of the hobo centers of the West. San Francisco, 1919. Saxon touring car at Boatyard. November 1938. Saloon in Stockyards District, South Omaha, Nebraska. (1905) Yates Hotel, Syracuse, New York. Opened in 1892 and demolished in 1971. The most elegant hotel outside Manhattan. Harbor Springs, Michigan, circa 1906. A flowing well in Weckwatansing. Puerto Rico circa 1903. La Marina San Juan, PR. New York circa 1903. Manhattan from under the Brooklyn Bridge. November 1938. Omaha, Nebraska, newsstand. Noon, June 10, 1909. Parker Mill in Warren, Rhode Island. I saw these and nearly a dozen youngsters who looked to be under 14 at work there that AM when I went through the mill as a visitor. Circa 1906. A Fifth Avenue stage, New York. Detroit circa 1903. Swimming pool at Belle Isle Park. Circa 1902. Main Street, Dayton, O. Unidentified woman. Between 1873 and ca. 1916. May 1909. Manchester, New Hampshire. Boy with bare arms, Fred Normandin, 15 Bridge Street, has been working in Amos-Keg Manufacturing Company Mill No. 1 for several months. Detroit circa 1901. Woodward Avenue at the campus marshes showing Bagley Fountain. Circa 1900. Entrance, Government Reservation, Hot Springs, Arkansas. Washington, D.C., circa 1926. Hill Building, 17th and I Streets, NW. St. Augustine, Florida, circa 1903. Hotel Alcazar Annex, Cordova Hotel. Charleston, South Carolina, circa 1900. Meeting Street and St. Michael's Church. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. American showwoman Christy Canyon 1986. Gentle Jane Mansfield 1953. British model Alexandra Peacock 1980s. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1950, and a print shop making fruit crate labels. Green Lake, Wisconsin, circa 1899. Old mill at railway station. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1952. Pope Motor Company Service Garage. March 1944. Children playing on the roof of the Lighthouse, an institution for the blind, at 111 East 59th Street, New York. Knoxville, Tennessee, ca. 1941. San Francisco, 1935. Golden Gate Bridge under construction. Pontiac San Presidio ramp. Atlantic City, New Jersey, 1904. Boardwalk and Hotel Chalfont. May 1942. Southington, Connecticut. An American town and its way of life. The Memorial Day Parade. The town hall is in the left foreground. October 1942. Girl worker at lunch also absorbing California sunshine. Douglas Aircraft Company, Long Beach. San Francisco, 1937. Policemen and Pontiac at Golden Gate Park. December 1957. Washington, D.C. Man tuning console radio while woman in next room types. Washington, D.C., circa 1919. Senator Warren G. Harding, Republican of Ohio. May 1918. American National Red Cross. Aviation Camp of the American Army at Sudan. The Canteen Kitchen. December 1957. Washington, D.C. Man with broadcast listings, Woman Tunes Radio. Circa 1899. Ekin, Mrs. L.M. October 1942. Woman at work on bomber motor, Douglas Aircraft Company, Long Beach, California. Circa 1899. Lorian Morrow Ekin. New York circa 1906. Union League Club, Brooklyn. (1905) City Hall, Troy, New York. This 1875 building, designed by Marcus Cummings. Newport, Rhode Island, 1902. Informal portrait of a young Negro woman working amid clotheslines heavy with sheets and stockings. Circa 1900. Joe Black Fox, a Sioux Indian from Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. San Francisco circa 1927. Page Cabriolet Roadster. Kelly, W.E. between March 1905 and August 1906. June 1942. Tank driver, Fort Knox, Kentucky. British actress Linda Lusardi, 1979. Circa 1894. Reuter Fritz, the son, and presumably dog and cat, of Washington, D.C., hotelier Fritz Reuter. Circa 1910. Hall of Records, Sigget's Courthouse, New York, New York. April 1943. Women workers employed as wipers in the roundhouse having lunch in their restroom, Western Railroad, Clinton, Iowa. March 1966. Actor Adam West on the set of the movie Batman and making public appearances. Washington, D.C., circa 1926. Planograph Building, L Street, NE. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. Garage elevator wreck. Kelly, J.T. Children. Between February 1894 and February 1901. Wellington, New Zealand, circa 1957. Bond Street shows a narrow city lane. June 1942. Greenbelt, Maryland. Grandma Taylor blows out the candles on her 83rd birthday cake while her daughter, Mrs. McCarl, and grandson look on. San Francisco, 1925. Overland 6 sedan. August 1918. In the kitchen preparing food for wounded American soldiers in U.S. Army Base Hospital No. 41, at St. Denis, France. April 1943. The PBRRR. Pabst Beer sign over the Illinois Central Freight Yard at South Water Street, Chicago. Charleston, South Carolina, 1937. Old House, Henrietta and Elizabeth Streets. December 1942. Working on a locomotive at the 40th Street Shops, Chicago Northwestern RR. August 1940. Extremely tall and excellent corn is also grown on the King and Anderson Cotton Plantation near Clarksdale, Mississippi Delta, Mississippi. August 1940. Street scenes, Port Gibson, Mississippi. October 1939. He brought his family to the West in a homemade trailer from Texas. Boy sick. Father has work now in potato field. Merrill, Klamath County, Oregon. February 1939. Brawley, Imperial County, California. In farm family of mother, father, and 11 children, originally from near Mangrum, Oklahoma. San Francisco circa 1922. Gardner touring car. October 1942. Riveter at work at the Douglas Aircraft Plant in Long Beach, California. Tennessee circa 1902. Chattanooga and Missionary Ridge from Cameron Hill. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Gentle Maria Whitaker 1980s. American writer and actress Roxanne Pulitzer, 1979. Model Stephanie Page, 1980s. August 1942. Ella Watson, government charwoman who provides for a family of 6 on her salary of $1,080 per year. New Orleans circa 1903. Chess, checkers and whist club, Canal and Baron Streets. Parker, Mrs. F.W. between February 1894 and February 1901. May 1943. Bethlehem Fairfield Shipyards, Baltimore. Ship painters loaded on a truck. Toledo, Ohio, circa 1900. Spitzer Building, Madison Avenue and Huron Street. August 1942. Women in industry. Sharp eyes and agile fingers make these young women ideal machine operators. Shelter Island, New York, circa 1904. Manhasset House, at the golf links. Baltimore, circa 1905. Oyster luggers at the docks. March 1952. Marlene Dietrich makes her stage debut in Chicago. January 24, 1925. President Mrs. Coolidge viewing eclipse of sun at White House. January 7, 1925. Washington, D.C. Scientists of Naval Observatory with special camera to photograph eclipse of Sunday. Circa 1905. Main Street, Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Portsmouth, New Hampshire, circa 1907. Thomas Sheaf House, Market and Deer Streets. St. Paul, Minnesota, circa 1910. Robert Street. April 1954. Flamingo Hotel, Las Vegas. Circa 1901. Family Cow Dash, The Firs, New Baltimore, Michigan. Ecorse, Michigan, circa 1906. Great Lakes Engineering Works. Circa 1905. Mount Tom Mountain House, Massachusetts. Completed in 1901. San Francisco, 1926. Page Sedan Series 2, at Pioneer Park, Telegraph Hill. The Jersey Shore circa 1908. The Bathing Hour, Atlantic City. July 1942. Washington, D.C. Cars and trucks on Independence Avenue, SW. August 1940. Dolls and crib next to icebox of kitchen in Provincetown, Massachusetts. Along the Monongahela circa 1912. A group of skyscrapers, Pittsburgh. February 1943. Women in Essential Services. Mrs. E.K. Sable and Mrs. J.R. Harris in Oakland, California. The beautiful Dawn Grayson of the 1960s. July 1942. Washington, D.C., vicinity. Canoes and rowboats tied up at small refreshment barge on the west bank of the Potomac. Boston circa 1895. 7 lawn tennis players posed outdoors holding tennis rackets. Glistening from a wash, waxed and chrome polished job by 16-year-old me. Our 1956 Rambler station wagon basks in the sun on the ramp of our garage on Walnut Avenue in Larkspur, California on a summer day in 1962. April 1943. Montgomery County, Maryland. Servicemen and their girls at the Glen Echo Amusement Park. March 1943. Melvin Cash, truck driver, putting water in his radiator along U.S. Highway 29 in North Carolina. San Francisco circa 1918. Haynes four-door four-passenger roadster at Golden Gate Park. March 1943. Pearlington, Mississippi. Truck drivers at a coffee stop on U.S. Highway 90. January 1943. Penasco, New Mexico. Marjorie Muller, nurse at baby clinic, operated. Circa 1903. Government Street, Victoria, British Columbia. February 1917. New York. Louis Gitney, a young compositor earning $7 a week in a 6th Avenue, New York, printing office. February 2nd, 1917. Girls working at Mangle and Banana Laundry, Boston. All are 15 years old and go to continuation school. February 1917. Horace Linfors, 14-year-old printer's helper, sizing up leads for Riverside Press, New York City. Palm Beach, Florida, circa 1906. Watching the boat races. Whitehall, Henry Flagler Mansion in background. Colorado Springs, circa 1910. Exchange National Bank Building, Tejon Street. New York, circa 1911. 5th Avenue at West 43rd Street. Washington, D.C., or vicinity, circa 1925. Children is all it says here. San Francisco, 1926. Page Sedan Dash, Great Highway. September 1942. Rochester, New York. Earl Babcock's mother helping with his bath. Circa 1910. Los Angeles-San Diego Beach Railway gasoline motor car. April 1939. Kilgore, Texas. Oilfield workers eating lunch. November 1938. Saloon near entrance to Union Stockyards. South Omaha, Nebraska. November 1938. Entrance to Union Stockyards. Omaha, Nebraska. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. American model Tracy Vaccaro, 1981. This is the end. Rachel Gurley 1980s retro photo shoot. The lovely Donna Evan 1988. June 1942. Meanwhile, back in Chicago, we return to the Cassello family kitchen for another helping of American as the Smiths and Joneses. August 1942. Women in industry. Operates a compressed air grinder in a Midwest aircraft plant. San Francisco, circa 1919. Sando motor truck. August 1939. Western Washington subsistence farm, whittled out of the stumps. San Francisco, 1935. Auto show. Model and Oldsmobile at General Motors display. New York, circa 1900. Italian neighborhood, Mulberry Street. Richmond, Virginia, circa 1912. Main Street west from 12th. Washington, D.C., circa 1890. Mad Aragon. September 3, 1935. Pontiac at H.O. Harrison Company, 1625 Van Ness Avenue, San Francisco. Harrison, Wright, and Howard. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. Photograph shows two African American men sitting on bales of hay and playing instruments outside a barn or stable. One man plays guitar. Vienna, Virginia, circa 1920. H.A. Money. The Undertaker Howard A. Money, 1859 to 1931. March 1943. Montgomery, Alabama. In front of City Hall. September 1938. Sitting around mining town of Osage, West Virginia. Boston circa 1900. Battleship USS Kearsarge from astern. New York circa 1905. Police parade dash, squad of mounted police. May 21, 1935. Pontiac Coupe at San Francisco Palace of Fine Arts. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1957. Cardinals baseball. Manhattan circa 1900. New York's business district from the Woodbridge Building. February 1942. Westlaco, Texas. Farm Security Administration camp. Garden in front of shelter. March 1940. High school boys in Jalopy, Genoa, Nevada. March 1940. Main Street in Tonopah, Nevada. March 1940. High school students in Jalopy, Genoa, Nevada. Circa 1905. The base in Baltimore, Maryland. October 1917. Washington, D.C. Knickerbocker Theater. Harry Crandall's new Knickerbocker Cinema opened on October 13, 1917, with the historical drama Betsy Ross. Less than 5 years later, 98 moviegoers were killed here when the roof caved in under an accumulation of snow during a blizzard. Model Maria Whittaker, photo 1987. December 1908. Walker Block, Griswold and Fort Streets, Detroit. August 1942. Interlochen, Michigan. National Music Camp. Applying first aid to girl who stubbed toe while in swimming. May 26, 1951. Patricia Murphy's Candlelight Restaurant, Manhasset, Long Island, New York. Exterior with autos. May 1943. Ashland, Aroostook County, Maine. Girls at Memorial Day Parade. Even with gasoline rationed, many people attended the ceremony in cars. Circa 1942. Alaska Defense Command. At Mail Shack with mess kit. June 1943. Keysville, Virginia. Randolph Henry High School. Chemistry class equipment. Washington, D.C., circa 1904. Frank M.E. is all it says here. San Francisco, circa 1929. Dodge Brothers truck at City Hall. January 1943. Washington, D.C. After dinner, a bridge game goes on nightly in the largest room in the boarding house. (1902) Public Square, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. New York, circa 1901. The Little Church around the corner, Episcopal Church of the Transfiguration, East 29th Street. June 1935. Migrant agricultural workers in California. Motherless migrant children. They work in the cotton. December 1941. Burning fallen leaves. New York City suburbs. September 1942. Richwood, West Virginia. Young citizens. San Francisco, 1927. Hudson Super 6 sedan at the De Young Museum. Buffalo, New York, circa 1911. William McKinley Monument, Niagara Square. October 1942. Winter cold evening due to temperature restriction in the house. December 1941. Pearlie Mosley with 3 pelts from foxes he trapped. Eden Mills, Vermont. Fisher, Mrs. J.F. Child. Between February 1894 and February 1901. Savannah, Georgia, circa 1906. Bull Street at Liberty Street and City Hall. December 1941. Raking leaves. New York City suburbs. San Francisco circa 1927. Page Cabriolet Roadster. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. British model Maria Whittaker, photo 1989.